Oh, yeah.
All right. If I could get a motion that we discuss those items, only those items we went into closed session for. And one item under Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1, Personnel Matters, Police Department. And one item under Virginia Code 2.2-3711A7, Consultation with Legal Counsel pertaining to actual or probable litigation, GFL.
So moved.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East.
Aye.
Mr. Clark.
Aye.
Mr. Dawson.
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff.
Aye.
Mr. Luntz.
Aye.
Mr. Reese.
Aye.
All right, now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Klontz, followed by the invocation by Councilman East.
The flag of the United States of America, and into the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'd like to join us in prayer, please bow your head at this time. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your continued grace and mercy. We ask that you would guide each of us this evening as we conduct the business of our town. And please grant us wisdom in all matters. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right, I'd like to welcome the guests and visitors here and online. Thank you for being here. Okay, and there are no modifications to public session, so move right along to, first thing on here is Resolution 2024-26, adopting a budget establishing appropriations for the town of Pulaski, Virginia for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. Mr. Day?
Okay, if you'll recall, last meeting, we did have a public hearing. This is our second reading, and we will be looking for a vote tonight. Just want to go over these again. The general fund, revenues and expenditures are consistent. The revenues and expenditures for the general fund are $9,836,891. Again, revenues and expenditures do match. Water fund, the water fund revenue and expenditures are at $2,550,042.20. Sewer fund revenues, expenditures again do match at $4,456,827. Solid waste again echoes with the match with revenues and expenditures at $834,000. Again, that's the last reading. Your vote tonight will finalize that budget.
Make a motion. Any discussion before?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-26, adopting the budget established appropriating for funds for the town of Pulaski, Virginia for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please, ma'am?
Mr. East.
Aye.
Mr. Clark.
Aye.
Mr. Dawson.
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff.
Aye.
Mr. Klontz.
Aye.
Mr. Reese.
Aye.
Next is Resolution 2024-27, resolution adopting water rates for the fiscal year of 2024-2025. Mr. Day?
Again, we'll echo the public hearing was at our last meeting. Water rates across the board, and there's about 15 categories here, but they are all going up an even 10%. That is in the water fund. The sewer fund, well, I guess you want to vote on the water first. Before you
I'd just like to make one quick comment. I know I've harped on this for a couple years now, and I know Mr. Day is taking this, but I really think we need to move from a 3-tiered system to a 2-tiered system, or at the very least try to pull up try to tighten up the spread. Because I know we've made a couple of, at least since I've been on council, several percentage increases, and that just means that our lowest users who are residential customers that is increased more. 10% of $4 is more than 10% of $2.60. So I think that, for this time next year, I would like to see a resolution that has a more a change to the system. But otherwise, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-27 as written.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Resolution 2024-28, resolution adopting sewer rates for fiscal year 2024-2025. Mr. Day.
Again, just like the water rates, we went into, in depth with that during the work session and also the public hearing a couple of weeks ago. But the water rates all the way across the category, and again, it's about 10 to 15 different categories, but they will all be going up an equal 6%.
I move we approve resolution 2024-27, resolution adopting the water rates for FY 2024-2025 as written.
It's 28 for the sewer rates.
Oh.
You want to say that again?
I move we approve resolution 2024-28, resolution adopting sewer rates for FY 2024-2025.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Resolution 2024-29, resolution adopting changes to the fee schedule for fiscal year 2024-2025. Mr. Day.
Okay, we discussed these somewhat last month. They were absolutely in the public hearing. For non-payment increases, we'll be going from 45 to 50, and that will include ACH, e-checks. Will also, 45 from $45 to $50 all the way across the category.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-29, resolution adopting changes to the fee schedule for FY 2024-2025.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Resolution 2024-30, resolution nominating Marky Saunders or Sanders, which is Saunders for reappointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-30 as written.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
All right, that moves us to the public comment portion. I have no speaker slips, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. And that is your consideration of May 21st, 2024 Town Council meeting minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt town council meeting minutes for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 as written.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
And steamrolling right on through, we're moving on to the council comments. Mr. East?
I don't have any, well, I will make a comment. The bike park looks really good. So it's a nice entrance to the town on coming in on 99. So that's all I have. So thank you.
Mr. Clark?
We have a couple speeders on McGill Street, Newbern. If you can get our favorite one down there. So I think they're having a little NASCAR race down there in a couple days.
Don't drag me into that.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Dawson?
I don't have much. I just wanted to thank, I guess, the chamber and Calfee Park and all the folks and organizations involved in kicking off baseball season. They had a great event there on Monday and introducing the new baseball team and kicked off the season, and it's pretty exciting to see. And so just want to thank all those folks involved in that. It was obviously it's a huge part of our town, and it's great to see everybody putting that effort into it. So thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Ratcliffe?
Only thing is, our splash pad here, a lot of people talking about it, and I will say this: if they keep it as good as they have the skate park and the basketball, we'll be okay. And I have 100% confidence that they will. So I hope they enjoy it. Thank you.
Mr. Klotz,
Nothing this evening.
Mr. Reese.
So this is going to be kind of a complicated comment, but I think it's worth everybody hearing. As people may know, I'm on the regional commission for the New River Valley. One of the projects they work on is the new passenger rail station in Christiansburg. Now, if you've been following this, you know that there's been some dissension about where the state picked out putting the station. And without going too in depth into the ins and outs of railway lines and history and stuff, the place they were looking at is on a line that actually doesn't run down through here. It actually runs up to West Virginia, which would have been fine for Christiansburg, but meant that we probably wouldn't have gotten passenger rail. And I just heard today that the Virginia Passenger Rail Authority is now looking at putting the passenger rail station for Christiansburg in the old Cambria Depot area, which would mean it would be on the line that runs from Roanoke all the way down to Bristol and beyond, which means, theoretically, one day, at some point, we might have, at least, if not Wytheville, maybe here in Pulaski, a passenger rail station, and which I think would be a wonderful addition to our town to be able to see passenger rail running through here again. That's it's without going into all the details. For those who don't know, we're part of that passenger rail station authority, and we're participating on that. And so that's a big change that could be, they're gonna put in a passenger rail station in Christiansburg, but it being on the line for here, and the big issue is that Norfolk Southern owns that line, and they had been reticent to share that, and it seems like they're back on board with sharing the use with Amtrak for that rail, and that means that it would potentially come down through here, which would be, I think we all agree, would be a really wonderful thing for the town. Also wanted to thank the town public works department. I know we've had a lot of rain and trees down and stuff like that, so I know they've been out there working hard, especially with water main breaks and all that stuff. So we really want to thank you. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you.
I do have one question on the passenger
Mhm.
train. I know that's been discussed for a long time, many years. Do you have any idea, or do they have any idea of when the Christiansburg
We don't.
depot?
So the big issue is where it's going to be. They've got an engineering firm. They've got, they're in the process, but if it's in one place, it's a different construction project than if it's in another. So that's the big, and that's been the big pushback, because they've had some public comment sessions, I should say, and there's been, from what I understand, a lot of pushback, because the problem with the current line that they have is that it runs underneath it. The only place it would be sort of out of the way for everybody, especially for us. And although it would be in a good location for trains, but it would also, in order to get on the other side of Christiansburg, it'd have to run through some really, really old tunnels that are that are 100 years old and under, dozens of feet of rock. And then there's a lot of money that will go into extending that line. We're talking like, not 100, we're talking about somewhere between $750 and $1 billion to even get the train into the mall side. So just to give you a sense of how big of a shift that is.
Still years away.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's just a matter of building the station, and the station doesn't have to be if you've been to the Roanoke station, it's a platform.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing they would want is some additional sort of siding and stuff, which shouldn't be a huge deal. We're not talking 10 years, hopefully in the next 2 to 3, I think is what their plan was.
Thank you.
But, as with any project, there's things to go through.
Yep, thank you.
So I'm on the authority, so I go to the meetings, and the plan was at the mall. As of today, it's going to be in Cambria, near the old train station, which means they won't have to go through and do a lot of the work. They were thinking about not even going through the tunnel. They were going to be on the other side of 460.
Right. Okay.
But as of today, now that money is going to go to Cambria, which makes it easier, more accessible. So
Well, good.
it should be quicker, but it'll probably still, we haven't had a meeting to tell us anything, updates since today, and we'll find out more stuff on our next meeting. But
Okay, great. Thank you.
all right, so just some things that are going on. I know the Claytor Lake Festival is coming up June 8th, so that's this weekend down at Claytor Lake, so I hope that everyone can go to that. We also have on June 22nd, we're going to have the Music and Merchants Festival back on Main Street. The town is looking much better. I know we've had some major water breaks the past little bit, Mr. Day. I know you love all that. But we're getting there. You know, we have old pipes and sewers and stuff, and it's going to take a while, but it's a process that's what we're working on, and we're trying to make it better, and we just keep trudging forward. And I want to thank the Public Works for all they do. And if you see them out, don't judge them because there is so many standing around. They're all there for a reason. So thank them for getting your water and your electricity back on when there's AP out there too. With that, Mr. Day, if you'd like your manager's report, please.
Yeah, I'll go through it relatively as quick as possible. You've got a couple of documents I want to call your attention to. One of them is I had a council member mention, wanted kind of an update on the ARS homes that, you know, we were participating in building. And the elected official actually made the comment, even if we lost a sum of money, having a new home in our political jurisdiction brings an economy here, so it comes at even a value. But just want to let you know that our communication with ARS has improved, and the next project that we have coming up is going to be located at 520 Jackson Avenue. But the last two projects are in the black. So we found out they were originally, we felt like they might have been in the red a little bit, but we actually had a return on that extensive investment. It absolutely didn't pay for staff time, administrative time, but if we were to include those costs into this obviously we would be in the red, but a little over $1,500 on the 321 project, 321 Maple Street. And then the other one was 126 Pierce Avenue, was right at $11,000. So if you were to put in staff time, administrative time, and, you know, office expenses, we'd obviously be in the red. But if we can continue to do that, and continue to build houses, and, you know, add to the ROI of the community, that's what it's all about. So good job with whoever. I know previous management came up with that concept, but it's been positive for the locality. Just kind of want to throw that out there. There's also a discussion, and I'll let if you look at the TV screens up there, we've got Habitat for Humanity, and y'all may be aware of this, owns a piece of property in town, and we talked about swapping that property. I've got about 90 days to act on that property without having a liability due to a phase 1 issue, an environmental, because there used to be a dry cleaners there. And it is hot. It does have some contamination, but I've got a letter here. We've got about 90 more days if council wants to proceed with that swapping of property. And what we would do would be to give it to our attorney, let him evaluate it and procure it. I'm sure there's some procurement process we have to go through in order to swap that property. And I'm probably being redundant, but any of you have any questions?
I guess I don't understand what you mean by swap the property.
Well, one of the property, you know what the address is of?
So one of the properties is behind the county administration. That's the one. That's the one that we own over on 2nd Street, and then there's the other one is over there by the county administration building.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a washer. There's like a on the left of that is the car wash place, and the right is that old garage place. So it's just it's a vacant lot, and I think Habitat bought it a long time ago or was given it, and they can't develop it for whatever reason, and so they want to they want to take another piece of property and develop it into a home.
So Habitat currently has the one that's by the county administration building.
It's the one that the old dry cleaner.
Okay, that's the one that they have.
Right.
And that one has some issues with
It
contamination.
does, and in order to avoid the liability of responsibility for the contamination, we have to close that within 90 days. So it would be just a switch of property. You could still utilize this property for, it, you know, it's very small. If there was something going on the street or an activity downtown, you could utilize the property. We'll have to maintain it, cut grass on it, but the other piece of property that we currently own is a vacant lot. It's very developable and Habitat for Humanity, right there is that lot, by the way.
They're wanting to put something on it.
They're wanting to put a home on it. Now, I spoke to them last week, and it may be a couple of years before they get to it. But even if we were to go through a procurement process, which might involve your EDA, even if we didn't take the contaminated property, even if you gave that property to Habitat, it would be a plus. So the 143 property, I'm not concerned about it at all. It's very small. You're not going to have a commercial building built there. It does have a level of contamination that's going to restrict some type of growth, but our liability is exempt as long as we close it in 90 days. In other words, Scott goes to court, you know, has a legal closing, and we take ownership of it within 90 days. The other property, though, right there, is a great opportunity for us to put that back on the tax roll and actually have a home developed right there.
So we would never have any issues with having to remediate the issues on the property on
Not
the
if we
street?
close it within 90 days. And if we don't, we can do another phase one. The phase one is just outdated, maybe, kind of like an appraisal after so long, so they would have to redo it. In that picture right there, it's right behind that tree. You can see the tall grass, so it's very narrow. It's not really deep. There's not a whole lot you can do there.
Oh, it's just, it's just that one little spot right there.
It is, yeah, where that
Okay.
tall grass was at, you're correct, right there where that tall grass is at.
Who owns the properties on both sides?
The
Do we-
properties on either side of that are not included.
I mean, do we know, are they
Oh, yes.
individuals?
We know, I don't know who they are.
Okay, it's just individuals though. Okay.
All right. So I just need direction to proceed, and again, we'll proceed forward, let Scott take it up, and if y'all are okay with that swap of property. It's not gonna be just as easy swapping property, there's some procurement we gotta go through, but if I don't hear any objection, we'll just proceed forward.
Yeah.
All right, the planning commission has got a vacancy on that planning commission, and I think historically, we may have appointed somebody from the community. State code allows us to appoint a board member from this panel right here to serve on that planning commission. I would highly encourage that. So please, I'm not looking for that tonight, obviously, but please consider that. I think there's a communication line there. Obviously, after last month, I kind of learned that, but that we need to try to strengthen. And having a member of the town council on that planning commission would be really powerful to bring those communications back, tie those two entities together. So just keep it in mind, unless you want to volunteer now. Looks like Brooks is really thinking
No, well, I think there's some history with that, possibly that at some point in time in history that has been the case at some points, and may have had some positives and some negatives, both potentially, that we might need to look into a little.
All right, we'll do that. All right, the splash pad ribbon cutting this Friday at 12 o'clock. Looking forward to that. And again, they've worked really hard on that project, and we're really looking forward to that being a success. And it's my understanding there's a number of water facilities in the community that, for whatever reason, are not going to be opening up this year. So we really look for it to be a pretty good hit. Cruise in Saturday, June 15th from 11 to 4 in Jackson Park, and the Food City grand opening is Tuesday, June 18th at 5 p.m. That's all I've got.
All righty. Well, With that, just a reminder, our future council meeting will be June 18th, 2024. Closed session at 5:30, open session at 7. As I have nothing else on the agenda, I declare this meeting adjourned.